One round of fixtures down, one to go in the Champions League.
Yes, that's right. And no tie is more finely poised than that of Bayern versus Liverpool, which is why we've come here to Munich.
As Jurgen Klopp prepares to return to the home of his former Bundesliga rivals, we have a chat with a man who enjoyed a 7-year spell at the stadium behind us.
And we'll also be hearing from our journalists across the continent, and we'll give our guests the chance to beat this man in between the sticks.
A daunting task indeed. But first, since we've come all the way to Munich, we might as well take a look around. It's montage time!
Once home to Freddie Mercury and Arnold Schwarzenegger, Munich is also the birthplace of legendary German centre-back Franz Beckenbauer.
Der Kaiser captained Bayern Munich to 3 straight European Cup trophies between 1974 and 1976.
They would go on to win a further 2 Champions League titles in 2001 and 2013.
Making them the 3rd most successful club in the competition's history.
Clubs from Munich have also won more than a quarter of all German top-flight trophies.
Bayern with 28, 1860 with 1. Many of the trophies mentioned were paraded on the balcony to my right, including the 3 won by today's guest.
Christian Ziege is no stranger to European finals, having lifted the UEFA Cup with Bayern in 1996.
He also spent a season at Anfield, but which of his former clubs will he be backing in the Champions League this year? Let's go find out.
Christian, thank you very much for joining us. We're just going to dive straight in. Bayern versus Liverpool, 2 teams you have played for. Who do you think is on top going into the second leg?
Oh, this is really difficult, but I think Liverpool missed in the first leg important player, and he will come back in the second leg. Munich is crowd-wise not a big place. The team is obviously, but I see Liverpool has good chances to come on top.
You touched on it already. Virgil van Dijk will be returning from suspension. How big a boost will that be for Liverpool?
All the games I've seen of Liverpool is if Van Dijk is playing, he's the man. He's the leader of the team. You couldn't see it in the first leg, but over the whole season, I think he's so important for that team. Obviously, you need the strikers up front as well, but to win something, you need a good defense, and he's dictating everything there. It's a big boost for Liverpool, definitely.
Bayern, they didn't have a shot on target in the first leg. Surely it will be really important for Robert Lewandowski to step up here in Munich.
He's always a threat. Even if you don't see him for 80 minutes, he knows what to do. He's always capable of scoring goals, especially at home. For Bayern Munich, playing at home might be an advantage, but the crowd is not the same like at Liverpool, I would say.
And one of your former teams as well, Tottenham, they were excellent in the first leg. How impressed were you of them?
I was impressed with the second half, although I have to say that Borussia Dortmund that I had difficulties in the defense and make some silly mistakes to get the goals. But second half of Spurs was really outstanding.
Even with the result, the yellow wall is a daunting thing to face. Is there any chance of a Dortmund comeback, do you think?
In football, there's always a chance to come back. I just remember Liverpool was 3-0 down at half-time in the Champions League final. At the end, they won this game. So you never know, and especially that place, I think they beat this season Atletico Madrid at home 4-0. If they get a good start, it's always possible, but they play against Spurs and they know what's coming up.
Christian, can we take you back to 1996, UEFA Cup final? You played every minute of the 2 legs in that 5-1 win over Bordeaux. Just, I guess, explain to us how it was to win and lift that trophy.
We were talking before the first leg about one player at Bordeaux, and that was Zinedine Zidane, and he was still a young player, and everybody in our coaching staff was saying that we have to keep an eye on him because he's really, really strong, and he was. We've been a bit lucky in the second leg because Vicente Lizarazu, he got injured after 14 minutes. So they had some problems in the defense. Good for us. But I like to play against the strongest team and win. Obviously, to lift the trophy, I remember what happens afterwards because we won on Wednesday night. And I think we didn't go to sleep till Saturday to the next game. So it was amazing.
You went on to win the Euros with the national side. Was that the best summer, the best year of your career?
Yeah, definitely. We had the best season with Bayern Munich. In the league, I think we finished 6th or something. Won the UEFA Cup and then went to the European in England. Just to play the semi-final against England at their home and beat them on penalties. I'm sorry.
I can't remember the result actually. Could have gone either way.
It was amazing. But then you play the final and we played Czech. They went 1-0 up and we managed to come back and then scoring by golden goal. And for us it was completely new. Normally you play the extra time till it's 120 minutes and then we scored the goal and the game was over. And to do so in this fantastic stadium was yeah, I can't really describe because it was, yeah, the best ever happened to me.
Amazing. Lovely to hear from you. Thank you so much, Christian. It's almost time to put Christian's knowledge to the test, but first, it's time for some sensible soccer.
Hi Christian, Duncan Alexander from Opta here. We all know that you were a set-piece specialist, but can you handle the pressure of 5 questions from our stats archive?
Well, that was our Opta stat guru, Duncan Alexander. He's going to ask you 5 questions. We can give you a clue to just one of them, and the score to match is 5 out of 5 by Henrik Larsson.
Along with you, Liverpool have had 2 other players called Christian to play for them in the Premier League era. But who are they?
No clue. No clue at all.
The answer is Benteke and Poulsen.
Your last 2 goals in the Premier League both came from direct free kicks. But who did you score them against?
Can't remember. Must have been Arsenal.
And one more.
Can't remember. West Brom.
West Bromwich Albion.
Your final Champions League appearance for Bayern saw them unfortunately concede 5 goals, something they haven't done in a European game since. Who handed out the beating that day?
I remember a lot of players in this team. So it was Ajax Amsterdam, fantastic team, young lads, unbelievable.
The last player to directly assist you in the Premier League is also the oldest player to ever score in the Premier League and an Englishman that you faced in the semi-final at Euro '96. Who is it?
I go for Teddy Sheringham.
Teddy Sheringham it is. And our final question.
And finally, you are one of only 3 players in Premier League history to collect 2 red cards in the space of 4 days or less. The other 2 players to do it are both very famous and French. Can you name either one of them?
This must be Eric Cantona.
Eric Cantona, ladies and gentlemen.
He scored 3, second on our leaderboard out of 2.
Not bad at all, really, to be fair. Take that out.
It's okay.
Now we're about to see if the man to our right is still a set-piece specialist, but first, let's hear from our goal journalists from across the continent in Euro Express.
No matter what happens against Barcelona in La Liga and in the Spanish Cup, but Real Madrid are still the favourites in the Champions League against Ajax. First of all, because of the result of the first leg, but obviously because they are the current champions in Europe. For me, my result, 2-1 for Real Madrid.
Even without Cavani and Neymar, Paris Saint-Germain succeeded to bring a victory back from Old Trafford, and bad news for the Red Devils. Edinson Cavani might be back for the second leg here in Parc des Princes, just behind me. As they are stronger at home, my prediction is 2-0.
We totally agree with you, Sabrina. We think that PSG will finish the job at home.
Yes, PSG will win 1-0, 2-0, and Kylian Mbappé will score. So I think PSG win and Kylian Mbappé to score.
As we've seen several times already this season, Manchester City really can struggle when it comes to Champions League action, including in the first leg against Schalke. But given City got the 3 away goals, they're back at the Etihad Stadium. I'm backing them to win comfortably 3-0.
In Madrid, Juventus have played one of the worst matches of an Allegri era. Now the mission is very complicated, but we know with Cristiano Ronaldo everything is possible. So my prediction is 3-0 for Juventus.
I think Barcelona is the favorite for reaching the quarter-final of Champions League. Why? Because they have the most powerful weapon in football world, which is Lionel Messi. Until the Argentinian striker is playing for Barcelona, Barcelona will be favorite all the time.
Christian, you're known as a set-piece specialist. 5 penalties against that man there. Are you feeling confident?
Penalties, not at all, but that will be fine.
OK, let's go.
Penalty 1, normal penalty worth 10 points.
Robbie.
You have to move.
I know.
Penalty 2, wrong foot worth 20 points. Ready?
Ooh.
Penalty number 3, no look, 30 points.
I tried to commit.
Penalty number 4, the Rabona, 40 points up for grabs.
I believe in you, Ziege.
Woo! Good save.
Penalty number 5, the blindfolded penalty worth 50 points. Here you are.
Oh,
as well. 40 points there.
Fine effort indeed.
Not too bad from you, Johnny.
I saved a couple against a German legend of football.
That score does put you second on our leaderboard, so well done for that. And that does mean that you have to do 40 press-ups. Christian, were you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm more than happy, yeah.
Great, thought so.
Thank you so much for being a great sport on the show today. And while he finishes his 40 press-ups, here's what's to look forward to over the next 14 days.
I think I've done it already.
No, keep going.
This week, Tottenham and Roma will look to protect their first leg leads on the road in Dortmund and Porto. Defending champions Real Madrid welcome Ajax with a narrow 2-1 advantage, and Manchester United travelled to the Parc des Princes with a mountain to climb. A week later, Juventus tried to turn the tables on Atletico in Turin, Man City welcome a shell-shocked Schalke, and Barca and Bayern will hope home advantage helps them break the deadlock against Lyon and Liverpool respectively. In the Europa League round of 16, Arsenal make the short trip to Rennes, while 3 other favourites have home ties as Sevilla take on Slavia Prague, Chelsea face Kiev and Napoli welcome Salzburg.
Who will break the duck between Bayern and Liverpool? Can United stage an unlikely comeback? And is Ronaldo's UCL winning streak at an end? In just over a week's time, we'll have all the answers to those questions, and I can't wait.
Hey, good night, Rach, and we'll be back for another continental mini break in early April to bring you all the news from the Champions League quarterfinals. But for now, Auf Wiedersehen for me.
And Visum Nigel Mal from me.
That was a mouthful.